Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating concept. It's behind smooth handling, safe cornering. It's called angle of attack.
That's right. It might sound a bit technical, maybe aeronautical even,
Yeah,
but it's absolutely crucial for understanding your car's balance and grip.
exactly. If you've ever wanted to feel, more confident,
Yeah.
whether you're taking a tight turn or just making a quick lane change on the highway, this is for you. We're going to unpack what angle of attack really means for a car, why it's so important for traction, and how knowing about it can genuinely make a difference to your driving.
And what's really interesting here, I think, is how this relatively simple principle connects directly to the forces acting on your car. We often use the airplane wing analogy, and it's a good one. It helps understand how you maintain control, especially under pressure.
Hmm.
Knowing this stuff really can help you approach curves more safely, maybe correct your steering a bit more precisely, and it even helps you understand and hopefully avoid things like understeer. Right, where the car wants to go straight even though you're turning.
Exactly. Front tires lose grip. Or the opposite, oversteer, where the back end starts to slide out.
Okay, so let's define it then. When we say angle of attack, what are we actually talking about? Our sources give a pretty clear definition.
They do. At its core, it's simply the angle of an object relative to the direction that it is going in.
Okay, simple enough, but how does that apply?
Well, let's use that airplane wing analogy you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's really powerful here. Imagine the plane taxiing, getting ready for takeoff. It's speeding down the runway.
Right.
At that point, the wings have almost zero angle compared to the air flowing over them. Flat, basically.
Okay.
But then for takeoff, what happens? The pilot pulls back, the nose pitches up.
Ah, okay.
And that action increases the angle of the wings relative to the airflow. It becomes, greater than zero.
Yeah,
That's what generates the lift.
that's the key moment for lift.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then once it's up and cruising, that angle usually decreases again for efficiency.
So how does this translate to my car? To the tires?
It's a very similar idea. When you turn your steering wheel, the front tires don't instantaneously point and follow that exact new direction relative to the car's momentum.
Okay, there's a slight delay or a difference?
Exactly. There's a tiny angle that develops engineers call it the slip angle. It's the angle between where the tire is physically pointed and the actual direction the car is moving at that instant.
So that slip angle is the angle of attack for the tire.
You got it. That's the car's angle of attack in action. And
Sure.
managing that little angle is everything for grip.
Hmm. So this brings up a critical point then. What happens if that angle is wrong? Like too big or changed too quickly?
Yes, and this is where speed comes in. The sources are really clear about this relationship. Basically, the faster you're going, the smaller that angle of attack needs to be.
Okay, smaller angle at higher speeds.
And, just as importantly, the slower you need to change that angle at high speeds. Smooth inputs are key.
So quick, jerky steering movements at high speed are a bad idea.
A very bad idea. Because if that angle of attack becomes, as the sources say, too great for the speed of the vehicle,
That's when things go wrong.
that's when you risk inducing a slide. The tires lose grip.
Yeah.
Or in, really extreme situations, you could even risk unsettling the car enough to cause a rollover.
Wow. Okay, so understanding this really gives you a much better feel for what's happening between the tires and the road during a turn or even just changing lanes.
Absolutely. It helps you appreciate the physics at play. It's not just turning the wheel. It's managing these angles and forces. It's like a dance, like you
A
said.
delicate dance, yeah.
And if we zoom out a bit, understanding angle of attack isn't just some technical trivia. It's pretty fundamental to vehicle control and ultimately safety. It empowers you.
How so?
Well, it helps you anticipate better, react more appropriately, steer with more finesse. It builds confidence because you understand why smooth inputs matter.
So, thinking about the listener, what's the main takeaway for you driving your car day to day? I guess it means having a deeper appreciation for that connection, that nuanced dance between your steering, the tires, and the road itself.
Precisely.
It turns something like taking a corner from just a routine action into something you're doing with more awareness, more informed control.
Well put.
And maybe here's something to think about until our next deep dive. If this angle, the angle of an object relative to its direction of travel, is so absolutely critical for machines like cars, like airplanes, are there other areas in life, maybe your projects, your goals, where thinking about your own angle of attack, how you're approaching things as you move forward might be beneficial?
That's an interesting thought. Definitely something to ponder.
Something to consider.
Mm-hmm.
We'll leave it there for this deep dive.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.